Hello. I figured I would make a video on where everything is heading in the future, maybe even in the very near future. This is coming from Amos chapter 9, starting in verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will utterly destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all the nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. And that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed. The mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And I will bring again the captivity of the people of Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof, and they shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. And I will plant them upon their land. They shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith the Lord thy God. So right now, um, Israel is in the land that God promised, Abraham a long time ago, back in the book of Genesis. He said, I'm going to give you a seed, and I'm going to give you the land, the Holy Land. Well, the only problem with that is they are currently in rejection of their Messiah as a nation. They haven't accepted the Messiah, Jesus. So the final end game, as you see in here, is that um, there's going to be judgment for that, because the Messiah ultimately has to come back and will come back, and in order to do that, the nation has to accept him. The nation of Israel has to accept him, and it's going to take some pain, for them to do that. See, he says, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all the nations. You know, they're gonna, they're going to be removed from their land, as you can see with this stuff going on, with the Board of Peace and all of this. They're parting the land. They're already, like, they're doing stuff with Gaza. That's Israel's land, but they've sold that off themselves, which they're not allowed to do. But eventually, I think they'll make it up there to East Jerusalem. They'll take that land. They might even take lands in the north. They might go back to, I don't know, some old agreements with Lebanon and Syria, and start taking their northern lands as well. And eventually they're gonna take a lot of the Jewish people, and they're gonna remove them from their land. And that's why God says he's gonna sift the house of Israel among all the nations. And he's they're gonna be in a bad way, but it takes what it takes for them to finally accept him as the Messiah. And some people, a lot of them, maybe some of them won't. I don't know how many, but probably a decent amount. It says, all the sinners of the people shall die by the sword. The evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. But the good news is, in that day, the tabernacle of David is going to be raised up. Why will that be raised up? Because the one that's going to sit on that throne of David is the Messiah. That's what was promised. Um, and David even prophesied that in the Psalms. And then, of course, all of the heathen, their Israel will possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathens. So the Gentiles, Israel's going to possess them, not as like slaves, but it's basically saying Israel, the remnant of Jewish people that make it through this, that do accept Jesus as the Messiah, they're going to be the ones in control of the world at that point, you know, because of course with the Messiah on the planet, he's going to be the king of the planet. So the Jewish people, being his people, are going to be, the dominant people on the planet, and the people, the Gentile people, will kind of be like an immigrant type people, kind of like, like with me in America, like this is our land. If an immigrant comes here, they're welcome for sure, but this is our land, with in this final end game, Jesus is going to be the king of the planet. Israel's going to be his people, and everybody else is kind of like an immigrant. But it'll be a time of great blessing. And it says, "Behold, the days come that the plowman shall not that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, the treader of grapes, him that soweth the seed. The mountains shall drop sweet wine, all the hills shall melt." He's going to bring again the captivity of Israel. So he's going to, after this time of trial, he's going to bring them all back to Israel, because they're going to be removed from their land here in the future. They're going to build the waste cities and inhabit them, plant vineyards, drink the wine, make gardens, eat the fruit, and I will plant them upon their land. They shall never be pulled up out of the land again. So it sounds harsh, it sounds rough, but it takes what it takes, and they've been through some pretty hard times before, so they'll be all right. But, God's in charge, and you got to do what he declares, and that's the end of the story. Right now, the best thing you could possibly do is accept Jesus as the Messiah, or if you don't, there's a really good chance that you're going to end up going through this, because this might not be that far off. But again, it'll be a tough time, but there is also a time after that, which they're never going to be pulled up from their land ever again. It's going to be vineyards and gardens and wine, and it's going to be blessings forever and ever. So, long story short, accept Jesus. He's the Messiah. If you don't, you're taking a big risk. But hard times to come, a lot better times afterwards. But figured I would make a video to explain that. Have a good day.